Harper Audio presents The Once and Future Liberal, After Identity Politics, by Mark Lilla, read by Charles Constant. We must understand that there is a difference between being a party that cares about labor and being a labor party. There is a difference between being a party that cares about women and being the women's party. And we can and we must be a party that cares about minorities without becoming a minority party. We are citizens first. Senator Edward M. Kennedy, 1985. Introduction. The Abdication. Donald J. Trump is President of the United States, and his surprise victory has finally energized American liberals and progressives. They are busy organizing what they call a resistance to everything he stands for. They are networking, marching, showing up at town hall meetings and flooding the phone lines of their congressional representatives. There is already excited talk about winning back House and Senate seats in midterm elections and the presidency 3 years down the road. The search for candidates has begun, and no doubt some staffers are already dreaming of the offices they will occupy in the West Wing of the White House. If only American politics were so simple. Lose the flag, capture the flag. We liberals have played this game before and sometimes won. We have had Democratic presidents in 4 of the 10 terms that followed Ronald Reagan's victory in 1980. And there were significant policy victories during the administrations of Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. But scratch below the surface of presidential elections, which seem to follow their own historical rhythm, and things turn very dark very fast. Clinton and Obama were elected and then re-elected with messages that were long on hope and change. But they were stymied at almost every turn by self-confident Republicans in Congress, a right-leaning Supreme Court, and a steadily growing majority of state governments in Republican hands. Those presidents' electoral victories did nothing to stop or even slow the rightward drift of American public opinion. In fact, thanks in large part to the shameless and massively influential right-wing media complex, the longer they were in office, the more the public held liberalism in contempt as a political doctrine. And now we face far-right populist websites, mixing half-truths, lies, conspiracy theories, and fabrications into a toxic brew eagerly swallowed by the credulous, the angry, and the menacing. Liberals have become America's ideological third party, lagging behind self-declared independents and conservatives, even among young voters and certain minority groups. We have been repudiated in no uncertain terms. Donald Trump the man is, frankly, not the greatest of our worries, and if we don't look beyond him, there is very little hope for us. American liberalism in the 21st century is in crisis, a crisis of imagination and ambition on our side, a crisis of attachment and trust on the side of the wider public. The majority of Americans have made it abundantly clear that they no longer respond to whatever larger message we have been conveying over the past decades. And even when they vote for our candidates, they are increasingly hostile to the way we speak and write, especially about them, the way we argue, the way we campaign, the way we govern. Abraham Lincoln's famous remark is timely once again. Public sentiment is everything. With it, nothing can fail. Against it, nothing can succeed. Whoever molds public sentiment goes deeper than he who enacts statutes or pronounces judicial decisions. The American right understands in its bones this basic law of democratic politics, which is why it has effectively controlled the political agenda of this country for 2 generations. Liberals have for just as long refused to accept it. Like Bartleby the Scrivener, they prefer not to. The question is, why? Why would those who claim to speak for the great American demos be so indifferent to stirring its feelings and gaining its trust? This is the question I would like to explore. I write as a frustrated American liberal. My frustration is not directed at Trump's voters or those who explicitly supported the rise of this popular
Sample complete. Ready to continue?